I spoke about this story to Nike's co-founder and chairman emeritus, Phil Knight, over Zoom. These were spoke about the comments watching Nike.
Who thought of Nike? Phil Knight, a track athlete at the University of Oregon, and Bill Bowerman, a track and field coach, came up with the idea for Nike. When did Nike come out? Nike taught us one thing: be bold. When was Nike invented? Nike is an American brand that was first established in 1964 by two former University of Oregon track and field athletes, Tim Bowerman and Phil Knight. Although it was not the first sports goods company, Nike paved the way for its success. Nike is an American sports apparel and footwear manufacturer headquartered in Beaverton, Oregon. They are the largest publicly held corporation in the world by revenue. Nike is a master at building its brand. Its slogans, "Bo knows," "Just do it," and "There is no finish line," are used in its advertising. Humble beginnings. The story starts with two guys named Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight. After graduating from Oregon, Bill Bowerman coached track and field at the University of Oregon. After Phil Knight spent a short time at Stanford University, he ran into Bill Bowerman again. Bowerman was interested in improving the performance of athletic and running shoes, so he started tinkering with different models after learning some tricks from a local cobbler. Two guys founded Blue Ribbon Sports on January 25, 1964, and for many years they sold shoes at track meets from the trunk of a car. They started as a distributor of the Japanese sneaker brand 𝐿𝐥𝐤𝐞 Tiger. Knight was impressed by how well-made 𝐿𝐥𝐤𝐞 Company's trainers were and thought they were fresh air in a sneaker market dominated by German brands. While everyone else was busy choosing between Puma and Adidas, Phil Knight looked to 𝐿𝐥𝐤𝐞 Tiger and Japan for a new, high-quality running shoe. After being the only distributor of 𝐿𝐥𝐤𝐞 shoes in the U.S. for a few years, Knight and Bowerman started to think about how they could do things differently. As Blue Ribbon Sports changed its name to Nike in 1971 and got ready to release its trainer, the two companies moved farther apart. Bowerman has always made prototype trainers for the athletes he coaches. After disassembling many pairs of 𝐿𝐥𝐤𝐞 Tiger running shoes, he began developing the first Nike sneaker to analyze their construction and see where he could improve them. The origin of the Nike brand name. Jess Johnson, the company's first employee, had the idea to change the company's name from Blue Ribbon Sports to Nike. Carolyn Davidson, a student at Portland University, had already made the brand's famous swoosh logo, but the company still needed a name. Johnson came up with the name Nike, which was taken from the name of the Greek goddess of victory, who had wings. What was the first shoe made by Nike? The first Nike shoe was made in Bowerman's waffle iron and was called the Moon Shoe. Bill Bowerman came up with this exclusive waffle design while eating breakfast and wondered if the grooves in his waffle could give more grip when playing sports. After a few test runs with the waffle iron, the waffle trainer was made, and its grippable and performance-driven design immediately made it a hit. This prototype model was the first Nike shoe sold at Sotheby's for almost $450,000. The first Nike shoe sold was a refined version of the Moon Shoe. The shoe became known as the Nike Waffle Racer, and it was first given to athletes at U.S. track meets. Even though the Waffle Racer was well made and a small success, it didn't put Nike on the same level as Adidas or Puma. But a new design helped get them back on the right track. The two people did well with a design that was first called the Aztec. Adidas already had a sneaker with a similar name, so the name had to be changed. The shoe became the Nike Cortez as a nod to history and the fall of the Aztecs. Due to its advanced design and technology, the Cortez was a big hit when it was first shown at the Mexico Games. This helped Nike grow into the sneaker giant it is today. The Cortez has a complicated history. 𝐿𝐥𝐤𝐞 Company first made it, but Knight and Bowerman later made their version and sold it under Nike. When 𝐿𝐥𝐤𝐞 Company found out that Nike was selling the Cortez model, the situation worsened and ended up in court. The dispute was settled in court, where the judge claimed both brands could sell their versions of the Cortez under their names. Getting a grip on things. By 1976, Nike was ready to keep growing, so they hired John Brown and Partners, an advertising firm based in Seattle, to help them get more attention. The agency made the first Nike brand ad, "There is no finish line," a year later. Even though the ad didn't show any Nike shoes up close, it was a success and helped push the brand even higher. By 1980, Nike had a 50% share of the U.S. athletic shoe market. Later that same year, the company went public. Nike began producing athletic and sportswear in 1979, marking its official entry into the garment industry. The Windrunner, a lightweight jacket with a contemporary chevron pattern, was an instant hit both on the street and on the track, and was one of the company's earliest offerings. In 1982, Nike hired Wieden Kennedy as its global advertising agency to help the company expand into more countries. In the 1980s, the group's co-founder, Dan Wieden, made many prints and TV ads. In 1988, he came up with the famous slogan, "Just Do It," for a campaign. Wieden says that murderer Gary Gilmore came up with the saying because he famously claimed "Let's do it" before he was executed. Advertising Age would later pick this saying as one of the top 5 slogans of the 20th century. The time of Jordan. In 1984, Nike signed 21-year-old Michael Jordan. Jordan, a rookie in the NBA, rejected Reebok and Converse to sign with Nike for $500,000 a year. Air Jordan was created when Nike promised MJ a signature line. Before signing, Jordan played a few games with a Nike Airship sneaker, but the colorway needed to meet NBA requirements. Peter Moore, Tinker Hatfield, and Bruce Kilgore decided to work on Air Jordan 1 instead. The original Air Jordan 1 sneaker was made for Michael Jordan in 1984 and went on sale in 1985. The shoe was high-top, had the Nike swoosh, and was black-red bread. Nike released a new line of shoes, starting with the Air Max 1 in 1987. Tinker Hatfield mostly made these shoes, and their cushioned midsoles were the first to enclose air physically. The original colorway came in a university red-white colorway, and sneakerheads worldwide still want that silhouette. In 1990, Nike moved its headquarters to a campus of 8 buildings in Beaverton, Oregon. The Beaverton HQ was on a huge 400-acre plot of land that was home to 11,000 employees, a Nike sports research lab where new technology was made, a Nike museum where old items were displayed, 3 fitness centers and facilities for sponsored athletes, and many sports fields, tracks, and running paths. The Nike Air Max 90, the third Nike Air Max, came out simultaneously. This model had a chunkier build and a more futuristic style and design. Taking over the world. As part of its efforts in the 1990s, Nike opened its first chain of Niketown stores, with the first one opening in Portland, Oregon. These independent stores showed off some of the athletes that Nike sponsored, like Michael Jordan, and sold a wide range of exclusive Nike products for all sports. Tiger Woods is a famous golfer who joined Nike's team in 1996. This move helped Nike move further into new areas of golf and brought in new fans from all over the world. Nike got into skateboarding in 1997 with a new line of sneakers with more padding, Zoom Air insoles, and better materials that were made to withstand heavy impacts and the wear and tear of skateboarding. Because this line was so popular, Nike decided to get even more into skateboarding, and in 2001 came out with the Nike SB line. Soon after Nike SB came out, the company decided to give each of its pro skaters their line of dunks. This latest version of the Dunk SB was originally a basketball sneaker. Still, it came with a padded tongue, thicker laces, and a sturdy build to ensure it was as comfortable and durable as possible. With Michael Jordan becoming a household name, Nike signed LeBron James and Kobe Bryant in 2003. This move would make the company the top NBA shoe sponsor. Next year, Nike co-founder Phil Knight will step down as chairman but remain a chairman. William Perez, an American businessman, succeeded him, but lasted only 2 years owing to differences with Knight over how the corporation was run. In 2005, Nike signed Rafael Nadal for sponsorship and a clothing line. Finance. After the current $5 billion buyback program ends in the second quarter of fiscal year 2013, Nike Inc. will spend $8 billion to buy back Nike's Class B stock over the next 4 years. Nike Inc. had repurchased $10 billion worth of its stock. Nike Inc.'s quarterly profit went up because global orders for goods delivered in April increased by 13%. Future orders of shoes or clothes to be sent rose to $10.4 billion. In extended trading, Nike shares went up 0.6% to $78.75. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more. Also, set up your bell icon because we'll be back sooner than you think with another fantastic story. Take care until then.